Alright, so here we have a 99 Grand Cherokee that has some weak airflow, whether or not it's on hot or cold air. And this is pretty much what you can expect to dive into when you go about fixing this problem. What I have here is the whole unit pulled out. The whole dash is removed, all that steering column stuff had to come out, and a bunch of connectors, the center console, the trim. There's two blend doors in here which fail probably the most commonly. So this is that area where you see people cut through right where their glove box is and go in there and replace those. And these are just the little actuator motors that actually move them. So I'm gonna cut this car on here and kind of show you how some of these doors work. It's probably a little hard to show here just by myself, but when I hit that recirculation button, one that moves that door down there, winging on up here. Now it's sucking the air from outside. These are pretty nasty, but yeah, these will all kind of go wherever you put them. So you can kind of see those moving around. So I'm gonna actually pull this thing inside and show you the blend doors that fail most commonly, and we're gonna be replacing those with some aluminum ones, as well as swapping the fan out with a new resistor. Here's the unit with the top removed, and you can get a really good look at the blend doors that most commonly fail, which are these two right here. I guess this plastic, after being heated and cooled so much and all the moisture going through it, it just cracks right up in here. So the actuator will actually move this, but the door will stay down, so no airflow gets through. So the replacement part is these very nice aluminum ones here, which will last pretty much longer than the car, I would assume. I'm also going to be replacing the blower just with a new blower, and then I have a new resistor. That's actually the old resistor there. We can see that the one of the capacitors kind of went goodbye on it. So yeah, that just sits, get the light here, that sits down up under there and it screws in from the underside. So I'll show that in a second once I get the new blend doors in. Something I will point out here is that if you are repairing it this way where you've pulled the whole unit out, this section here does remove, so to get easier access to pulling these little white clips out without breaking them, because they do have tabs here on the inside. So yeah, you can push those tabs in and just pull those out easily without forcing them, and this does remove to make that a much easier process. So here's what one tab looks like removed. That just comes out there, and we really don't need this since our blend doors here already have a new nice aluminum one that will go into the actuator, and then this door just pulls out just like so. And so yeah, you can see this one was still okay, but yeah, just gonna go ahead and do some preventative maintenance on that. There's our new blend doors installed in here, and something that's pretty important is that when you go back to reassemble all this, make sure you're lining up everything where you don't have like a tab outside. Same with the top. You don't want airflow leaking out of this thing, especially near the blower down here, because you will lose a lot of your air pressure if there's any type of gaps or cracks or holes or anything like that where air can escape. So just pay attention to detail there when reassembling. Alright, so here's the bottom of the unit, and of course this is a new replacement resistor wired in because the old one was burned up. And what causes that resistor and the lines to burn up most of the time is that the fan, this is the old fan, the bearings in it start wearing out and cause it to not be able to spin easily. So that extra current it's pulling to actually get it moving is what heats things up down here. So I mean, you can see our new fan spins pretty easily. One last thing here that I saw people having trouble with was that if you do get a new resistor like off eBay or Amazon or whatever, you need to switch the polarity of the fan connector here. You can just hit the little tab in there on the plastic to pull those out and swap them around, because for some reason on the new resistors the fan will spin the wrong way if you don't do that. I'm not having to do that here because I pulled that resistor off a Jeep in the junkyard, so everything kind of stays the same. But yeah, if your fan is blowing or spinning the wrong way, the air is not going to be strong at all. It's going to be like sucking in instead of blowing out where it's supposed to be. So you still do get a little bit of airflow, like just residual coming out, but yeah, definitely want to have that spin in the right way. You will definitely know the difference. I'm getting ready to finish this up here, about to mount the dash back on top of the unit. Got all the hoses on the back of it, and that is a huge pain to do. But yeah, before I do that, I went ahead and made a little foam gasket here. This is kind of what it would look, this is what it looked like before. And that just helps seal the air in from leaking out the sides where it passes it up to the top of the dash right there when this thing comes mounted down on there. So yeah, that just should keep us a little bit more pressure up top at the vents instead of having it come out the sides. So I've got the dash kind of mounted back in here, sitting on top of the AC unit, and we're gonna go ahead and cut this on and hope everything works. The doors are actually gonna go ahead and calibrate. This thing is gonna, you can kind of hear them too popping a little bit, but they're feeling how far up and down they can travel so that they get recalibrated since we messed with them a little bit. And we can go ahead and cut this on and put that on high, and wow, that is blowing a whole lot harder than it was before. These will do the blend doors that we actually installed. Another interesting thing you can do, and I'll turn this down a little bit so you can hear me, is if you hold these two in and spin the left one, it will read off any error codes you have. So if something's not plugged back up right or whatever, it'll tell you what actuator, what door, or whatever is broken. So that's a very helpful feature. The only way I know how to get out of it is to cut it off and back on. So now I just gotta kind of put everything back together and we'll be good.